Before we jump into today's podcast, we wanted to tell you about a fundraising event that RocketPWR are taking part in. On October 17th in London, RocketPWR take on Battle Cancer. RocketPWR Apparel has up to 3 teams entering this year's event. Battle Cancer is a fundraising campaign that brings the world together through fitness to speed up the progress in life-saving cancer research. Cancer is the second leading cause to death globally. It accounts for 1 in 6 deaths around the world. Each member of the RocketPWR team has been affected by cancer in some way, shape or form. We are asking you to help us reach our desired goal by donating what you can. Our goal is £3,500. That seems a lot, but let me put that into perspective for you. If each of our Instagram followers donate £1 as of recording this, we can raise £3,525, which is a significant amount that will go a long way to supporting the cause. The total amount raised will be split between each athlete's chosen cancer charities. On behalf of RocketPWR Apparel, thank you in advance. On today's episode of the RocketPWR Podcast, we sit down and speak with Lily-Mae. Lily went on to win the RocketPWR At Home Throwdown with a strong back and forth battle between her and several other competitors, and was a runner-up in the Challenge series. We also talked to Lily about her athletic achievements growing up, as she played many sports to a national and international level, such as hockey, lacrosse, netball and pole vault. We find out about how Lily got into CrossFit, what prompted her to do so, and why training the CrossFit methodology suited her so well. Lily then went on to compete at some highly recognisable competitions within the UK. What's next for Lily? Well, you're about to find out on today's episode of the RocketPWR Podcast. Hello and welcome to the RocketPWR Podcast. How are you keeping?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very well also, given the circumstances that we're living in at this current moment. We're going to start the podcast. We had a little look through your Instagram and came across a video from Christmas time of you showing off your circus skills with a little bit of juggling. We always start the podcast with a little bit of fun to make you feel more comfortable. So the game's called Podium Picks. So in CrossFit Games fashion, we would like you to rank circus skills you wish you had in a 3rd, 2nd and 3rd place, and also a spirit of the games. Our definition of spirit of the games is something that you think is cool, but it may be underrated, such as fire breathing, sword swallowing, etc. And these circus skills that you pick now can be anything, such as trapeze, tightrope walking, or something simple. So we'll start off in 3rd place, and the reason why you'd like to have this circus skill.
Oh gosh.
You're really being put on the spot because I didn't even tell you this was coming up.
No.
I literally stalked your Instagram and went, I think, right back down to your very first post. And I was like, oh, she's led an interesting life.
I don't know, I guess I went to see Cirque du Soleil a few years ago, and wow, they have got some cool circus skills in there. I'd say the when they've got like a board, and one person stands on one end and the other person stands on the other end, and they basically jump off each other and ticked up like a seesaw, but they're doing like cool acrobatic flips at the top. That would be my 3rd place.
I'm not sure what it's called, but it is absolutely incredible. And if I was to do this Podium Picks along with you, I think that would be in my top 3 as well.
Yeah, it's the height, I think, would be the exhilarating thing. I think they go like 10 meters or something. It's pretty incredible.
As in when we get to your number 1, I'll tell you what my number 1 is as well, because I've seen Cirque du Soleil live, and it is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So number 2, the runner-up of your circus skills.
Oh God. I don't know.
There's being in a cage with motorcycles going around. You could be the person on the motorcycle. You don't even have to be the woman standing there.
That is quite cool, actually, being on the motorbike and the. What else is there though?
There's trapeze, tightrope walking, aerial acrobatics where they tie themselves up and then they really like throw themselves down.
Yeah.
I've got a really cool Spirit of the Games as well. So when we get to that, I'll throw my 2 cents in on that as well, because I did think about it a little bit, but I missed out second place. I was like, nah, second place, don't matter here.
So I'm going to go motorbike because I actually want to buy a motorbike in the very near future. So
can you ride a motorcycle? Because we know that you can ride a normal bike very well.
Very far, yeah. No, I can't ride a motorbike. But I've got lots of friends who recently bought bikes. My best friend's got a motorbike and he rides it all the time. So I think I'm going to go motorbike with them in the cage, just going fast as they can.
That's an absolute solid pick. In first place, did you want some time to think about it and I'll tell you about my first place?
You can go first, yeah.
So, do you know they have this, it's a really big structure with a long pole, a circle on one end and a circle on the other, and there's someone in this little sphere and someone in this, and it goes around and the circle goes around.
Yeah.
Then they like run and do a flip and then they just drop to the bottom. I'm like, that is insane. And it's only probably about 2 foot, so they could literally fall out at any time.
Yeah.
But that would be my number 1 pick.
That is a very good choice. I'm going to go more original though, I think, and go for trapeze is when they swing on this big swing, isn't it?
It is, yes.
That's going to be my first place because I think flying through the air like that it's a bit like paragliding, something like that, with no air, like there's no sound around, you're just flying through the air. I think that's such a like freedom kind of feeling. I'd like to give that a go, be able to do that and just swing about and.
I completely agree, and I don't know why I'm agreeing with you and the ones that we've agreed on before, because I don't really like heights too much. It's more so the fear of falling, but when you watch it, I think that's what adds the adrenaline and thinking that it is so insane that it is absolutely crazy to see.
Yeah, it is.
So we've got your third, second and first choice. Your Spirit of the Games. So as I said, this doesn't have to be something that's crazy, something simple, such as sword swallowing, breathing, something that's underrated. Now, again, do you want me to go first with what I picked?
Yeah.
So when you go to a standard, I'm going to a circus in Gloucester, I'm going one in Malvern or whatever, they've got an MC. I would love to be that MC because they are so confident with what they do. Imagine having that much confidence. So my Spirit of the Games is going to the MC.
That is very good, actually. Very underrated and very surprising. Oh gosh. I think it would be an underrated trip. Potentially just magic on the street and seeing all the public and getting in the atmosphere, so you're away from the show of everything, but you're in the kind of atmosphere of the crowd and go around doing magic tricks and like the halftime piece, just going and getting a feel for the energy I think that's around. I don't know. Let
me just throw in a curveball. You're incredible on a bike with 2 wheels. I've seen you juggle. What about juggling while on a unicycle? Maybe with them on fire as well.
I could actually do that on a bike right now.
Wow. I think the listeners want to see it.
Yeah.
I will put your Instagram in the show notes and we will give you a solid 7 days to get this video up.
Oh, wow. This is going to be a lot of stuff on my bike outside in the air.
You don't have to do full juggling batons. We're health and safety, because we're going to be liable because we've asked you to do it. We'll let you use tennis balls.
Well, I've got juggling balls, so juggling.
Oh, perfect.
There we go. I'll use those, and oh gosh, I'll give you an outtakes clip as well.
It's like you were prepared.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I love that challenge. That's great. You should have made that a RocketPWR challenge, and I would have smashed it.
Oh, we can bring out a bonus challenge 1 week only, and just have that. And the bonus points for how many balls you can juggle above 3.
Yeah.
Or 2. 2 will be quite difficult, but bonus for 2 and above balls. Yeah. That's 1 point. and then each rep is 1 meter that you travel on your bike.
You'll be like 6 miles later.
Standing up, bonus 10 bonus points. Talking about our challenges that we've had, you're the winner of the RocketPWR At Home Throwdown and runner-up of our challenge series. So let's talk about that for a little while. You had no finishes outside of the top 10 in the At Home Throwdown. You had several top 5 finishes, and you placed second in workout 7, which was the 10 double unders, 10 jumping lunges, 10 jumping air squats, adding 10 double unders each round. By the look of your face, you can remember that one.
That hurt my legs a lot.
You had an incredible back and forth battle at the top across the entirety of the whole, what was it, month that we ran it for, with the likes of Millie, Terry, Justina and more. Can you tell us a bit more about how you found it? Did you expect to do so well and possibly come out on top?
After the first workout, I was coming kind of 5th or something. I thought, I might actually be able to do quite well in this, expecting to hopefully come in the top 10. And as weeks went on, I was kind of quite consistently coming between 3rd and 6th, I think, 3rd and 7th. And because I was just so consistent, it meant that I was placing really high. Like you said, I don't think I came first. I came first in potentially won the second round, but I'm not sure I ever actually came first. But
you were just solidly consistent.
Yeah, exactly. So, and every week, every competition came round, I was just like, right, because I cycle so much, I was like, when can I do this and not destroy my legs and go on like a long ride or something. So for me, that was actually the biggest challenge, juggling it with other things. But no, I kind of, as the weeks progressed, I was balancing in the 2nd and 3rd place in the first competition behind Millie and Terry. And then like a big leggy WOD comes up, and my legs really let me down in CrossFit a lot. It's really kind of my fitness and upper body that is my strength. So anytime there are handstands, press ups, stuff like that, I was really quite comfortable. And you put in a jumping lunge and jumping squat WOD, and I'm just like, oh god, this is my downfall. But I think in that one, in the first jumping lunge and jumping squat and the burpee one, I can't remember which week it was.
I think that was very close to the beginning.
It was. It might have been the first or second one. I didn't do well in that. I came 7th or 8th or something. Or I mean, relative across the board. And I just thought, I pray I didn't do too many leg ones. But that's why I love CrossFit so much. You know, like I'm a lot smaller than most girls, but I can still compete because I've got the fitness and the upper body. I can do pull-ups all day, I can do toaster bar all day, but you put in a heavy bar or loads of legs and I fall back, but I can still compete, which is why I love it so much.
Considering you say that your legs aren't very strong, to have your highest finish in that skipping, lunge and air squat workout is pretty decent.
Well, that one for me was more actually fitness, because how many was it, 10 squats or 15?
It was 10 double unders, 10 jumping lunges, 10 jumping air squats, and then you added 10 double unders every round. So, in the early rounds, we did have, I think it was 20 double unders, something to do with squats, something to do with lunges, but a bit different.
Yeah, so the earlier one was 20 jumping squats, 5 burpees, 20 jumping, 5 burpees. And the 20 just blew me up because I couldn't really do more than 12. I had to kind of stop and stand up and shake out and then do the next 8. But the double under one, I could get out 10. I can do 10. I was like, it's only 10, you can do 10. Just get back onto the double under. There's more fitness, so just don't break the double unders. I don't think I really broke those until 50 reps. And then I kind of the fitness started to kick in. I was like, oh God, I need to break these into 30s and 40s. But yeah, fortunately, the smaller reps in that one kind of saved me a little bit.
What was your favourite workout during the entire at-home throwdown? We'll touch upon the challenge series a bit later on in the podcast.
The first one.
It does seem so long ago now, doesn't it? Now that we've had the challenge series.
It does.
That was probably about 6 weeks long.
we had the 100 burpees. We had the 100 pistols with 100 burpees. We had 2 skipping ones.
Yeah. The pistols one was awful. Was the worst one because that just writes off my legs for 4 days afterwards. Like, if I do pistols, so when I'm training a lot for CrossFit, I'll do pistols probably every other day or every third day just to keep ticking over, like a little Tabata at the end of a workout. I do 7 pistols every 20 seconds with a 10-second rest for 4 or 5 rounds. And I hadn't done pistols in probably a month before that workout. And wow, my legs were just written off. And my best friend was like, "We're cycling today." I was like, "If you want to cycle very slowly, I'll come cycling." Yeah, but I'm not sure I could even push the pedals around. I quite liked the 100 burpees is actually quite good because I've been working on burpees a lot because I'm not that efficient at them. Well, I wasn't at the start of lockdown. And I quite liked, I did it as an EMOM. So I did, and I was actually doing quite a lot of workouts of, I think 12 burpees or 15 burpees as an EMOM. So 10 minutes or 12 minutes. So most days I was getting in kind of 150 burpees as an EMOM. Then you put that in, I was like, right, I've been working on this.
This is my jam. Yeah. I got this.
Yeah, let's crack this. So I did as an EMOM. I did 17 in the first minute, then 18, then 19. Then I think I held 90 the next one, and then I just went straight through on the last one and got about 20 or something. So I was really happy with that performance that I've been doing kind of 12 to 15 as an EMOM, and then I kind of really pushed hard. And I did it with a friend, so he was doing 20 on the minute every minute. We were kind of finishing the same time. Obviously, he was doing three or four more. But I quite like the challenge of that one. And it was short, sharp. It hurt a lot, but you knew. I think I did it in 7 minutes or 6 minutes or something. You knew it's realistically only 7 minutes of work, so you can push really hard. My general rule for CrossFit is anything under 8 minutes, you go as hard as you can. No respite or anything. And then 10 minutes is pretty much flat out, but you can take a few breathers here and there. And then above kind of 12 minutes, I need to pace it a bit more.
12 minutes, then you get to breathe in between.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Would you say the burpee one was your favourite workout during that series?
No. I like
Not by the look of that face.
No, I like that. I think I like the challenge of it, but the ones I double under one. Oh, the burpees and.
Tell us your favourite one and tell us your least favourite workout of that.
I'm trying to think of the challenges. What was the pistol one again?
I think it was 10 rounds of 10 pistols, 10 burpees.
Yeah, that was okay. I think my least favourite was just in the first one, the tricep dip one and the sit-ups.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I think there was sit-ups,
tricep dips, press-ups and air squats.
The very first one was 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 press-ups and air squats. And then I think that tricep dip was like second or third.
Yeah. No, that was my least favourite one. I think it didn't really test me that much. Like my legs hurt on the air squats. But the rest for me, sit-ups are like the movement for me that's a rest, you know, and working like, oh, sit-ups, I can just have a little breather, just smash those out kind of thing. And press-ups, I think, because there weren't that too many, there was 15 or 20 press-ups. So I think that was my least favourite just because it was the least challenging for me personally. My favourite one, potentially double under and burpee one that went down from 15 to 1 or 20 to 1.
Yeah, it was 15. So set of double unders, 15 burpees, set of double unders, 14, and you're correct, it went down to 1.
So I did that one twice. And yeah. See, this is why I think I did so well in the competition, because I did most of them twice when I thought, I could have done a bit better than that, and I'd do it again a couple of days later, right at the end of the deadline. Because
were you watching Terry and Justina and Millie to see what score they had put in, and then you would retry it to see if you could beat your time / their time?
Towards the end, yeah. When it
So
got
you
a
were
bit
game playing.
a little bit, yeah. Well, at the start, I wasn't. I was just like, oh, it's a nice little competition. And then kind of maybe with a couple challenges left, or 3 or 4 challenges left, I thought, I might actually win this. I was like, this is a potential. So I did. I was initially watching Millie quite a lot. And then I just, anytime she posted a workout, I say to my best friend, oh, Millie's got this. Like, I need to beat that at least. And I'd go out and work out how I'm going to do it and able to beat Millie, really. And then Terry kind of came up right towards the end. And she always posted her scores really late, literally like an hour before the deadline. So
she was very good at the game playing.
Yeah, she was.
She was like a true athlete. Because there's a lot of people that would go on and post their scores. We would release it, and then within the hour, people, oh my God, I'm at the top.
Yeah.
Like, let's see how I wait. And then Terry was like, boom, 8:59. She was logging her score.
I know. And I think on the last day, on the last challenge of that workout, I kept messaging you saying, where am I? What's
Yeah.
And you're like trying to be back and like trying to make it kind of a game, you know? And then I think you re-released the leaderboard, and she posted at 8:50 or something like that. And I was just laying in bed. I was like, I won this. I'm sitting next to my friend. I was like, Terry just posted, and I think I beat her by 1 point, 2 points or something. Because that last workout I didn't actually do that well, but I remember not wanting to do it again because my legs were just totally fragged. I was like, I can't do this one again because physically I won't do any better. So just praying that I'd held on to the first place. But yeah, I did look at their scores, and then the double under and burpee one I said I liked the most. I think I like that one because I did it initially on the AstroTurf pitch out the back here, and the soft ground meant that I crashed so much on double unders, and I kind of thought, it can't affect me that much. And I posted my time. I thought I don't know, maybe 15 or 14 minutes. And girls are posting. I was very quickly right down the leaderboard, and I thought you can do better than that. So I did it again on the tarmac, and I just completely nastily. I took like 3 or 4 minutes off my initial time just by I didn't crash one of the double unders. Just made them really consistent. Kept the burpees nice and consistent, and I like that kind of feeling of achievement. You know, I've done it once, didn't do that good, did it again, and absolutely smashed it.
Did you girls at the top start talking to one another, and do you still talk now, or did you just like, she's my enemy, that's it, I'm gonna unfollow Millie?
No, I spoke to Millie quite a lot actually, because she did we had a handstand push-up one. I think it might have been in the second workout, I can't remember, but I didn't have any sort of thing to protect my head, so I did press up. So the option was I think it was max press ups in a minute, or in 5 minutes. That was it. Max press ups in 5 minutes, or kipping handstand push ups, or stricter handstand push ups. Then it was you got more points for doing it.
This was in the challenge series, wasn't it?
Yes. So at that point, I started talking to Millie, and I think about maybe earlier than that, but I had a good conversation. I just messaged her because I saw her score. It was insane, and I just thought, how has she done that? Like, there was a handstand one before that, and I can hold a handstand all day, and she told me she can do loads of strict handstand push-ups, whereas I can't. So that was her trick. She did loads of strict handstand push-ups, and I basically messaged her. I was like, how did you get such a good score? Because I need to know, because I haven't done very well on this one, you know. And she just said she's just smashed out loads of strict handstand push-ups and did it as like a little EMOM thing. And kudos to her, like strong score on that. I think she got, I don't know, 30 or 40 strict handstand push-ups, something in the 5 minutes, even more than that. She did really well. So I spoke to her, and I still speak to her now. Like when she posts cool CrossFit videos of her PBing or something, I just give her kind of well done
for that.
Yeah, exactly.
But going back to the at-home throwdown, the pain was all worth it, as the winners got a cool box of prizes. You got several t-shirts, shorts, knee sleeves, a skipping rope, protein bars, protein porridge, and more. Not only from ourselves, but the likes of Anti-Social Athletes Club, SGF Speed Ropes, Merg, and a bunch of other cool companies. So I just want to take this time to thank them. And then you were runner-up of the challenge series, which you just brought up. Again, you had another great battle at the top there. You were 2 points only behind Justina, who snuck in. I think Justina got 67 points, and you come second with 69 points. Yeah. That was more of a challenge-based series, such as mobility, skill, and some other fun challenges thrown in the mix. We had 15 dedicated challenges, and some of those had 2 parts. So about 20 scored events in total. You had 4 first place finishes, 16 top 5 finishes, and you only had 1 finish outside of the top 10. So let's talk a little bit about the challenge series. How did you find that?
I really enjoyed it. I think I almost enjoyed it more than the first at-home throwdown, just because there's a bit less pressure, and I just enjoyed it a bit more. So yeah. I won the throwdown, and I was like, I worked really hard for this. My legs were hurting a lot of the time. My body was hurting a lot. Whereas this one, I got mega into my cycling, and it meant that I could kind of get home from a cycle and do the mobility challenge and then have a stretch, or get home from a cycle and do the handstand challenge. It was a lot less taxing, I think, on my body. So I just enjoyed it a lot more. And I went into the competition as I won the first one. Let's just do this one for complete fun. It doesn't matter where I come. And towards the end, that actually kind of changed a little bit. When I was quite near the top, I was like, oh, I might win this again. Let's give it a good crack.
I was going to bring that up because we started talking quite a bit during the first at-home throwdown. And then at the end, we obviously congratulated you for your first place, said, we're going to do this. Are you going to enter? You were like, yeah, but I'm not going to try so hard. I'll just do it as a bit of fun because I'm going to get into my cycling again. And then you come second.
I know.
I'm not going to try that hard, but as soon as I'm close to the first workout's done, I'm close to the top, I am staying there.
Yeah. So 5K played in my favour there. I came second in that one, and I got PB. And I think I've been running quite a lot more during lockdown, and like I kind of stepped away from CrossFit a little bit, like as everyone has with weights and stuff. So I've been doing a lot more cardio WODs. So I came second in that, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, just keep this for fun. And the next one was mobility. I was like, I can do that. I've been doing so many handstands the whole of lockdown, every single day. I'm sure you see my Instagram stories and stuff, just endless handstands at the rig and in my room and everything. So you had quite a few handstand workouts, and every time you put one, I was like, got this. And like I think the handstand hold one was probably my favorite one. I think I got 4.5 minutes or 4 minutes 16 seconds.
Was that just the strict handstand hold?
Yeah, the strict one. Yeah, and I also enjoyed the freestanding because I actually tested what I've been working on for the whole of lockdown.
I think someone must have inputted their scores wrong on the male side, because they put their freestanding handstand hold was 23 minutes.
Oh.
I don't even think I can stand in the same spot for 23 minutes.
Maybe 23 seconds, I don't know.
I was like, good job. How did you find Burpee Murph? Your 1 mile run, 100 burpees, 200 push-ups, 300 squats in a 1 mile run. You seem like quite the endurance person that would enjoy that. But again,
well,
your face tells me a different story.
I did it with 2 guys here, and obviously they absolutely thrashed me. So I don't know. I voted for it to be unpartitioned. So 100, 200, 300. But it comes a little bit monotonous when doing 300 air squats in sets of 20. I was just like, oh God, you've still got 200 to go, Lils. Come on, keep going. And kind of the same with the press ups. After 100 burpees was okay. I did them in sets of 20, so 5 sets of 20, which is fine. And then you get onto press ups and your arms are already fragged from the burpees. So I was doing those in sets of 10, and 200 press ups in sets of 10 is a long is a long time, and you're there just like looking at the ground like, come on, you can do another 10. Meanwhile, the boys are onto the air squats and I'm like 50 into my press ups and like, oh God. And I just I think when I'm getting so thrashed like that in a workout, I get a little bit disheartened. Whereas,
well, you said about doing 200 press-ups in sets of 10, it gets a bit demoralizing. Imagine how demoralized you would be if you're doing 200 sets of 1, just staring at a black floor. That's not the nicest. No. It's like, just grab me a pillow, come on.
Yeah, exactly. I think at the end of that, when I ran back from that workout, I just like laid on the floor like, I'm done, because we usually do the RocketPWR workout, and then I did a workout afterwards, like I did strength and stuff at the rig and maybe another little WOD. But after that, I just laid on the floor. I was like, boys, I'm going back. I'm done. I was done, like, my workout for the day. Like, it was a hot day as well. I remember doing it.
You brought up mobility. Steph got such a huge reaction for that mobility. It was so simple. We spoke to her and like people's children's were getting involved. She does mobility for the rugby club that is close to her, and all they were getting involved, but they weren't actually part of the challenge series. Your mobility, is that pretty decent?
Yes, yeah. I always stretch every day after a session. I mean, loosely said during lockdown, because that stretching has kind of fallen apart quite a lot. But every day, usually during normal life, I'll stretch after a session, just the main muscle groups, and because I've had problems with my hip and my shoulder before. I didn't stretch for a good couple of months, and I just get knots in my back, and that affects my shoulder, and I can't basically push press or strict press or anything. So having those injuries in the past have made me really strict on stretching and rolling after every session. So mobility, I'd like to think my mobility is quite good, yeah.
So your past injuries come to help you?
Yes. Now I'm injury free, yeah. I learned from them, yeah.
Growing up, you had played a lot of sport, both individual and team settings, competing to a national and international level in hockey, lacrosse, netball, and pole vault was your main sport before you moved to uni. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
At what stage of your life did CrossFit appear and ultimately come to the forefront of all sports, as you then went on to compete within CrossFit at what I would say is a reasonable level within mainstream competitions across the UK, such as Rainhill and Wild West?
So I was at university in my final year, and I was very, very underweight. I was 42 kilos, weight at 5'8" tall. So I was really underweight, and I started getting into the gym. I wanted to put on some weight. Someone said to me, so I didn't know, they're like, oh, you're disgustingly thin. And I just kind of thought, and that was kind of almost a turning point for me going, right, you need to put on a bit of weight here. So I started going to the gym initially, and I don't know, I've got quite an obsessive personality. Exactly the reason why I was so underweight, because I was obsessed with being smaller. And then I kind of flipped that obsession into going to the gym and lifting more, and putting on more weight. And I weigh myself every day. Now I probably weigh myself once a month, but back then I weighed myself every day, and I thought, I put on 0.1 of a kilo. And that feeling of putting on weight was a really positive thing for me. And it kind of meant that putting on weight meant I could lift more. So I got really into gym, and then I left university. There was CrossFit in London, but at the time I was a uni student and didn't even bother looking at the prices and stuff for going to a CrossFit gym there. So I left uni and joined a BP, the oil company, close to me. And I had in the back of my mind, after leaving uni, that I quite like to start CrossFit. So there was a local gym nearby, a CrossFit box nearby, and I just went down there and absolutely loved it from day one. I'm quite, in my background, I'm quite good at sport straight away. However, I don't really improve much after that. So I kind of took it up. I got double unders almost straight away. I got kick and pull up straight away. Like everyone at the box, like, oh my God, you're going to be so good in 6 months' time. Lo and behold, I didn't really improve after that. I just loved it. And I competed within probably the first couple of months in the scale competitions. I think I won my first and only 3 scale competitions. And then I just thought, my friends like, you can't do scaled anymore. You've got to go into RX. So it just became a complete obsession of my life. I was training twice a day for it. And it's a social life as well, isn't it? So my friends at BP are kind of all a lot older. I kind of left my uni friends behind, and my social life became CrossFit. So I loved going down there to see my mates every evening and training super hard. You're all in endorphin high. Like, I think everyone who works out knows exactly what it's like training with other people, all on the same endorphin high, great social, and it's still the achievement of every session. You're getting a little bit stronger, a little bit fitter. I think I just sucked in straight away, really.
You were at the commercial gym for your university whilst you were studying. How do you feel that the training the CrossFit methodology helped you much more than being in a commercial gym? It may seem like an obvious answer to people that do CrossFit or are in the community, but there may be people listening to this podcast that may not do CrossFit. So what did your training look like while you were at the commercial gym? Because you said that you were very underweight and you had issues with your body weight and your body image. Did you know what you were doing when you were at a commercial gym, or were you just kind of winging it in YouTube and stuff and then going in and hitting muscle groups that you were told to hit on YouTube?
Yeah, exactly. I initially started with every muscle group every day. I didn't know what I was doing. My whole body was fragged every day. And I started reading up loads about how you should be training to gain weight, how what I should be eating, nutrition, everything. I was just reading up loads around studying. And then I started going in and doing legs on a Monday, back and bis, chest and tries, shoulders, etc. one day off. And I met a girl in the gym as well, and we used to go together. So we kind of bounce off each other with ideas. But it's quite monotonous relative to CrossFit. You go in and you go, right, today I'm going to do front squats, back squats, leg press, and I don't know, leg extension or something, and then have a stretch. You do that, you come out, you're done, and you're doing it for the after effect of being bigger and stronger.
Absolutely, yeah.
Whereas CrossFit, you're doing it for the whole, you're not necessarily doing it for the after effect. You're doing it to go down and go to your mates, and you're in the community, you're in the I don't know, it's very stereotypical, isn't it? It's someone who just can't shut up about how good it is. I have definitely one of those.
Were you hooked into the CrossFit training methodology and CrossFit as an entirety after your first session?
Probably after a week, so after a couple of sessions, because the first session was like, this is how you clean, and I was just like, okay, I kind of know how to do that, and it was just empty bar, no plates or anything. And the second session maybe put on 2.5s each side, and kind of the third session I was on to, I remember putting 5s on each side, and I was so proud. At 25 kilo bar, I was like, I can now order the 25 kilo bar, and that initial step to I can now order plates on the side and kind of keep up with the class, that's when I kind of got hooked. And then I remember putting 10s on each side, so I was working out with a 35 kilo bar, and at that point I just like I remember when I got to 40 kilo WOD, and I remember it so clearly. I was like, I can wad with a 40-kilo bar. I was so pleased, you know, and it kind of, the obsession becomes ever so more the more you progress, you know. When I got butterfly pull-ups, it's like, I can do butterfly pull-ups and do them faster than anybody else in my whole class, you know. And like, it's just there's so many skills to learn. And then you get double unders, like I can now do double unders and butterfly, and then next thing you work on muscle ups, and I don't know, there's just so much across the board to work on. You become obsessed with each individual skill. When you get it, there's such a sense of achievement and positivity inside you that you think, like, I've worked so hard to get this, I can now do it, I can now put it in a wad and be tired and do it. You know, there's all different aspects of like double unders. I can do them fresh. I could always do them fresh, and then you put them in a wad tired, and I could never do them. Like, even before lockdown, I made it a thing to work on double unders with tired legs, because if I would have a leggy wad and have double unders in it, I'd crash the double unders quite a lot. So at the start of lockdown, I thought, let's do loads of air squats, like basically an air squat double under wad. This is before the throwdown, so I've been working on that already, which is perfect. Working on not crashing double unders with tired legs, and then even that, like a small achievement, like, right, got that. What's the next skill? And there's just so much of that across the board in CrossFit that people who don't do CrossFit don't know the feeling of achievement, I think.
Just taking a step back ever so slightly, you started at a commercial gym due to body image. When you moved to CrossFit, did you still have your body shape images in your mind, and that's what you joined CrossFit for? Did you join CrossFit to start competing, or was it just to train?
I think there will always be an element to me that wants to train for body image. I think it's just
even to this day, several years later, you still have those thoughts in your head.
Right at the back of my mind now. So like, I feel like now I do it because I want to be fitter. I want to be better. I wouldn't have started cycling so much if I cared so much about my body image, because I've shrunk massively in size. Like, when I do weights, I kind of think, it is in the back of my mind, like, you want at the end of the day, you want an aesthetic appreciation of yourself as well. I think you train so hard. For me, I want to kind of look athletic. I want to look like I do sport, you know. But I kind of, when I started CrossFit, it was more like, let's start a new sport. Let's kind of get fit. It was a bit less. I think nowadays it's right in the back of my mind, body images.
Did you know that when you started CrossFit, you wanted to potentially start competing, or did you even know that you could compete in CrossFit? I'm
a very competitive person. So I wish I could do sport like most normal people and just enjoy it and just be like, let's go and do CrossFit for the day. And I wish I could do that. And like cycling, for example, I'm doing now, I wish I could just go out for a 30 miler and come back and be like, I'm happy. But no, we're doing 112 miles this week because it's a challenge. It's almost like the competing in my head at the moment. Obviously, we can't compete with lockdown. But I kind of started CrossFit, and I don't think I initially joined to compete, but it was very quick that I wanted to compete. So at my gym, there were some people going to do the European Championships competition, and there was a scaled entry. So this was literally maybe 2 months into starting CrossFit, and they were going, and I was like, do you think I can enter scaled? And they all kind of went, like, are you sure? You've literally just joined the box. And I was like, yeah, like, I can do jumping pull-ups, I can do single skips, I can do whatever weight that they had specified. So I just went along and competed, and I absolutely loved it. And I competed quite a lot from then individually until I discovered team competition and force comp, which I enjoyed a lot more. And I did a little bit more of that before I kind of stopped competing a couple of years ago because I went away and loads of things happened. I got a lot less fit. I want to be now if I compete, I want to be at my fittest.
Have you got anything in mind competition wise coming up CrossFit based?
So one of the prizes from the At Home Throwdown was a Rep Out entry. So when we're out of lockdown, I think it's a fours competition they've given me a ticket for. I'd love to do that with four of us from here, because I think, I don't know, I'm not that strong at the minute, and I think there are people here kind of in the same boat as me, and we'd all go along and have a good old day out. You know, I did a little competition a while ago, just before lockdown, with my best friend. It was great fun. So I think that's the next one kind of on my mind, but I don't know, there's not much in the pipeline, is there, at the minute? It's all kind of in the air with
very much in the air. But
yeah.
You're currently training twice a day. What does training look like for you during lockdown? How many days a week are you training? What times do you train if you're training twice a day? Is it like split, one in the morning, one in the evening or afternoon? And then you're obviously cycling as well.
Yeah, so my training has kind of shifted. So it started lockdown for probably a month. I was doing a small cycle in the morning, so 15 or 20 miles just on my own. I'd get back at 11 and go out on the Astro and do RocketPWR workout with some friends here. So that was literally maybe half an hour. So cycle, then a half an hour workout. Then every day during the whole of lockdown, I've been to the rig. So I'm really fortunate where I'm based. There's like an outdoor rig to do pull-ups, muscle-ups. There's loads of tyres there, which we've all made work really well for us. There's only allowed to be 4 people there at the time, social distancing rules, etc. So me and another guy who's kind of on my corridor, we go over there every day at 4 and do usually 2 WODs and strength. So we'll
do you program for yourself?
Yes, yeah, I do. So I use a lot of Instagram stuff. So I go on Instagram and just kind of find a WOD that I like, and then change it to what I want. I think if I were to go back to start of lockdown again, I would train properly in terms of legs on a Monday, chest and tries on a Tuesday, but I didn't really figure out how to do those muscle groups with the equipment I had until a lot later on. Yeah. So now I'm just kind of like, so it's kind of phase 2 of lockdown, the last kind of 2 months. I do a long cycle in the morning, so between 40 and 60 miles pretty much every day. So yesterday I went for 65, day before 77. Today I'll go for a slightly shorter one because I think we've got a Ironman distance planned for the end of the week, which is 112 miles. So we're kind of back from that about 1 o'clock usually, have a couple of hours off and then go to the rig at 4. But now I'm doing a lot less leggy WODs. It's all kind of cardio, pull-ups, toes to bar, double unders, just because I can do my legs and the next day I get on the bike and it's just a bit painful, you know. It's not really very enjoyable when you can't keep up with the boys ahead. So you're
just keeping it fun and you're thinking about the day after about your cycling and how that will be affected, and just doing what you want as and when you want to do it, really.
Exactly, just literally just ticking over all the skills, just ticking over the pull-ups, ticking over the toes to bar, double unders. We've got a box as of the other day and a 15 kilo plate, so I'm doing step overs and stuff, box jumps, just ticking over all the basic skills. So when I can get back to a box, I haven't lost all the basic stuff, and I can just literally just work back on strength again and get that back.
You said that you're planning on cycling an Ironman distance at the end of the week, which is 112. Yeah. We spoke prior, and so I want to bring up, can you tell us more about your ideas to do a triathlon and the Ironman, as these are both things that are on your bucket list, and with everything that you've achieved so far within your life, within CrossFit, so on and so forth, we've got no issues knowing that you could do it if you put your mind to it. Can you tell us why you want to do a triathlon and even more so an Ironman?
So I wanted to compete for Great Britain for my whole life in any sport, and I never made it. So I made it to England, but never made it to competing for GB. So recently, kind of the last couple of years, I've had a idea in my mind that I could compete age group in triathlon, which is so I'll be age group I think 25 to 29. So if you're lucky and you qualify at competition, you can go to World Championships. And the people I've spoken to say if you get the right competition, you can actually make it as an almost like an amateur like I am. So I've kind of toyed with that idea a little bit. And recently over lockdown, I think I've kind of come to the idea that I shouldn't strive so much for that, because it's a little bit hard, a little bit demoralizing. You know, like I want to compete for GB. I've never made it. I still want to compete. Now I'm like, just do sport because you enjoy it, to get out, to compete with other people of your standard. So that's kind of when the Ironman ideas come up. I'm like, I'm never going to be a world championship athlete in an Ironman, but I could do. Well, I don't know. It's quite a big thing to say I could do one, but there's a few boys here where I'm based who are. So I'm in the military, and some boys here are doing an Ironman end of this year. And I've been training quite a lot with them, and they keep going, why don't you do the Ironman with us? And now I'm like, I've got so many miles in my legs now over lockdown. I'm running once or twice a week, 10K. I've got 10 miler planned for tomorrow, kind of building up to a half marathon. I could swim the distance, I think, quite happily. So it's 2.4 miles.
For the people listening to this podcast who may not know the Ironman distances, can you tell us the cycling, running and swimming distances?
So it's 2.4 mile swim and 112 mile bike ride and a marathon. So 26.2 mile run at the end of all that. So I don't know. It's an idea I'm toying with. I'm definitely going to join triathlon, because I've wanted to join for quite a long time, but I've never been able to let go of CrossFit enough to join triathlon. Like, I work on my strength so much that I kind of think if I start running and cycling, I'm going to lose all that strength. But now I've lost all the strength during lockdown. I think I might try and do a triathlon while I'm at the physical state I'm in, and then tick over with CrossFit in the evenings or the mornings. So do a WOD in the mornings and a bit of strength. Just because I really enjoy it, and then in the evenings or vice versa, crack on with the bike and the swimming and whatnot, and then hopefully do a triathlon by the end of the year, and then see how I'm getting on after that with respect to the Ironman. So I need to do a triathlon first.
As I said, we have no doubt that you'd be able to do it. I did something that was kind of crazy, but not as crazy as that. It was literally about 2-3 weeks ago now. On the Friday, I said to my friend, I can run a marathon, I might do it if I want to. Didn't tell anyone else, because then there was so much pressure on myself. And then he was like, oh yeah, that sounds fun, let's run a marathon on Sunday. So with no training, the furthest I've ever ran, which was the At Home Throwdown, was 5K. And I run during CrossFit, which is like 400 meters, maybe a couple of miles. Then on that Sunday, we ran a marathon. I didn't think about what I would need, like clothing, sunscreen, shoes. I just wore my Metcons. That was not a good idea. And 6 hours later, I come away running a marathon, which was incredible.
Wow.
But nutrition wasn't even on point up to that. It was just, I know that I could do it, so I went out and did it.
I think that's amazing. A huge part to all of this is mindset. If you go into something and think, you know what, I'm going to run a marathon, and I can do it. Whatever time it takes you, if you're injury free, this is, I feel like you can do it. And if I did the Ironman, if I go into it saying I can do this, and if I'm injury free, I'll do it. But obviously you need to train a lot.
I done it. Like I posted a story to my Insta and I put it on Facebook, just writing, I've done this. I'm really proud. I'm not like a very extroverted person that I don't normally put out stories or anything. And then so many people flooded me with comments. I was like, guys, you can do it too. You're a fully able-bodied person. You may not be able to run a marathon, but you could do a marathon distance. How we did it, we ran 1.25, we jogged 0.75, and we just did that 13 times, got the full distance. So even if you can't run it, you could still do a marathon distance. There's no reason you cannot do it. You're just telling yourself you can't.
Yeah, exactly. And you're the prime example of that. That you just gone out and you thought, no, I can do this, and you make it work for you, don't you?
It's all about mindset.
Yeah.
Right. I think we've taken up enough of your time. We've been just under 1 hour, 57 minutes, 15 seconds, and you're going to go out for a cycle. So is there anything you'd like to add to the podcast before we let you go? Bear in mind, Lily and I have spoken before this podcast, and we're going to get together and do a whole podcast based on body image. So if you're listening to this, if you're on YouTube, leave a comment in the description. If you're on any other podcast platforms, then please send us a message. Any questions that you want to propose to Lily other than marriage, get in contact, and we'll put a Q&A to Lily on the body image podcast that she's going to record with ourselves. Is there anything that you would like to add to wrap up the podcast?
I just want to say a huge thank you for running the 2 competitions. You got hundreds of people involved, and it was great to have a challenge every couple of days to work towards, and a little bit of competition, friendly competition. And I really enjoyed the whole thing and enjoyed doing the podcast with you. And I hope that people who listen to the podcast can be inspired to go out and pick up a new sport or run a marathon or join me in an Ironman, you know. And I look forward to the next podcast we do.
You're most welcome. Thanks again for taking your time to sit with us, and we shall see you on the flip side.
Great, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Enjoy your ride.
Cheers, bye.
Thanks, Lily. Bye.